Well, what's up, guys? It is Magi, and I am back here with a silver versus gold by the looks of it. This ought to be an interesting game to cast. You know, low-level league. I'm not sure if Bali is actually a platinum himself. But here we go, game number one. Bali, if you're here, we're casting your game, man. Going out and throwing out the heads up here for everybody real quick, and we'll get your introductions on the way. See what you have in store for us here, good sir. As we are going to move into the introductions here in the top left-hand corner. The purple protest pieces of the man himself. It is a Bali. Is that how you pronounce it? Bali? Like B-A-L-L-Y? Like Bali? Bali? And in the bottom right-hand corner, his opponent, the blue Protoss pieces of Annihilation. I try not to butcher the names, guys, so if I do, like, please just hurry up and correct me and let me know how you actually pronounce it, because I don't want to be that guy that butchers any names. Here we go, the last series of the night. A 3-game series. I don't know who is actually going to come out on top here. Generally when it's a 2-game series, you can kind of tell very easily. Now, Annihilation looks like he just wants to go ahead and get some gateways and cybernetics cores on. Well, on the other side of that, doing the exact same thing. Probably getting some gateways up and rolling. Now, loading into on the load screen here, we did see this was a gold versus silver. Now, this could very easily be a gold versus a plat. I'm not exactly sure everybody's rank here. Where they at in the ladder. We're just gonna have to hang out and wait and see, because PvP is a game that could very much go. Link Stalker Disruptor is always a fun one to watch. I don't think we see that much anymore, though, as that composition was figured out a long time ago. We have cybernetics cores done for both players. This is where the tech paths will start to diverge. We have 2 Stalkers on the way in a Twilight Council for Annihilation versus 2 Adepts here versus the 2 Stalkers of Bali. Gotten around, make sure there's nothing too cheeky going on. Either player wouldn't expand just yet. Stalker's going to get in position down here on the bottom right to make sure they can secure that natural base. That one playing EU. Okay. That helps. Thanks for the heads up there. That is the matchup, guys. It is a platinum versus a gold. So nothing started up on this Twilight Council just yet. We do have a Robo, however, on the way here for Bali. So now, this could very easily just be a Warp Prism type play coming out here. You know, it's always too early to tell when you see a Robo start up. Everyone just wants to say, oh man, he's going for something crazy. But it's not necessarily the case. This could be just for an Observer. It could be for that Mortal, you know, just wanting to get some more defensive structured units out in case some kind of crazy push does come in. But it will be for an Observer. Twilight Council is on the way down now, so as well. They can easily go and tech into that Blink, tech into that Charge. But it looks like all the tech paths, everything is pretty much going to realign here. Warp Gate is finishing up for both players. Missing a couple gateways. We're going to add in some shield batteries instead. While on the other side of the map we have 2 more gateways being added on. There's 4 so far, and it looks like Annihilation is going to live up to his name and be that player that wants to be called Annihilation, because he looks like he wants to march around across the map. And very soon, and be that player that annihilates, as his name implies. Guys, have a couple more Stalkers being added on. Now, 6 gates this early on 2 base. Basically says that you want to be that aggressive player. Bali, on the other hand, just now adding on 2 more gateways. The shield battery on the low ground. I feel he's going to need a little bit more in case if this aggression does indeed show. And that is looking like what it wants to be. They're ever going to get in here and post up in that sentry mode and see everything, actually. He's quite a bit on his opponent's side. He sees that there's 3 gateways, some cybernetics cores. He knows his opponent's got some army hanging out. A good day to be Bali at the moment. You know, you got some information there. Observer getting some payment there, earning some value. But yeah, you should know his opponent's army leaves. So now, one thing you can do with this observer is make it follow. Your opponent's army is missing now. You do not know where it went, so you have to assume it's all the way across the map. Now, if you have that observer stuck above the army, you'd just be able to follow this army and know exactly where he's at and know exactly about how much time you have left to defend. Warp Prism is out, so it looks like we might actually get into kind of a base trade scenario. This Warp Prism is heading across the map. Stalkers are continuing to be rallied out, and he should know that the Stalkers are leaving, so he should be ready for any kind of aggression coming out. 4 Stalkers in a more, 3 Stalkers in a dream, 4 Stalkers in a dream. 3 more Stalkers do get added on. The Big Daddy Immortal here. Blink forward in a heartbeat. That is going to cost us a couple more Stalkers. He's going to have to walk his way back out of that fight. Is Annihilation. Annihilation going to back up here. A few more Stalkers going to come in from the south side. Walk his way up that ramp and try to rally up with his army. Again, this is what makes this map very tedious to play on. Is like a lot of the attack paths don't go the way you want. So like, if you tell your units just to walk up a ramp, they're just going to walk up this ramp. They're not going to think, oh, you want to be with this army and just come up this ramp over here and walk around. Especially when your opponent has it walled off. The only time they'll walk around this way is when your opponent has indeed walled off. And you, like your game sense or your game itself knows that your opponent has walled off. Like your camera sees that. Main base, however, we do have a warp in. The probes are starting to fall here. Nothing on production tab, but 14 probes have been cleaned up already. Some Stalkers warped in to get rid of these Adepts. The Adepts are going to shade right down into the natural. And it looks like probe annihilation is happening. And Annihilation's base. As these probes just continue to be cleaned up. Now the Adepts are going to get cleaned up here. But that's alright, they did find quite a bit of economic damage here. It's now 42 workers to 16. We do have a fight on the other side of the map now. It looks like Annihilation is getting annihilated by these Immortals. As he continues to march forward, a proxy pylon, the reinforcing pylon, going to get knocked down as well. And Bali in a very commanding position here right now. Now, it's too early to count the marbles and say that Bali has come out of this marble game with the most marbles. The finish advantage will be on Annihilation's side. He's having a reprobe. He's building more probes. He hasn't teched up past his Blink Stalker 6 gate aggression. So he's very, very committed to just staying on this Blink Stalker tech right now. He does have the bank to go ahead and throw down maybe a third base, maybe get some robos of his own. He's not doing that at all. Another warping of Adepts going to come into the main base here. It's starting to pick up what was left of that feeble economy. It's already in tatters. A blink forward in a heartbeat. Gonna run these. Run through the Warp Prism. One Adept is gonna stay alive and continue to poke at these probes. But if you would have loaded this up in a Warp Prism and then left with the Warp Prism for a second, you could easily have held kept these Adepts alive for more harassment. Instead, I do believe your Warp Prism got picked off. It did. Take a look here in a second. Yeah, your Warp Prism gets picked off, but you've killed 33 probes, so you're definitely ahead in the economic games. You do have your third base behind all this. And reading into that, he says, I'm gonna go! I have Blink Stalkers, I have Immortals, another Warp Prism is on the way. It looks like he is not chrono boosting it out, it's just gonna come out at a normal rate. So we know, you do have the Observer, so as I say, no high ground vision, you can't really commit here, but you do have the Observer, so you do have high ground vision to just blink up this ramp. But opening up the rocks! Always like to see rocks going down, right? Anyway, here we go. Concave on the bottom of the ramp in favor of Bali. He can blink up the ramp. He can easily blink on top of his army. Unpowering the shield battery is going to be huge as that pylon just powered up 2 of those. Blink forward in a heartbeat is going to get on top of his ramp here and just going to start to pick apart these Stalkers. Absolutely disgusting fight here for Bali. GG gonna get called out by Anahilation, giving him game number 1. Almost missed that drop. Almost. I caught it. We're good. We got it. So we're gonna go ahead and move into game number 2 now. Of Bali versus Wern. Or in game name, Anahilation. And it looks like Wern has decided to take him to Ire. The Protoss battle for Ire shall now continue here in this multiplayer game. Where in the top left-hand corner, we have the purple Protoss piece is currently up 1-0 in the series. Control 1. And it is indeed your man Bali. And in the bottom right-hand corner of Ascension to Ire, it is Anahilation. He needs to annihilate his opponent here. I'm confused what this is supposed to be. Or what esport this is supposed to be about. Or what team that he's representing. It's like 3DE. Anyway, Anahilation could open up with a gateway this time around. Gateway on both sides, gateway gas. Everything looking pretty standard so far. But the players are playing a very similar style. We'll have to wait and see as we do have the probe scouts coming out here. Make sure there's nothing too cheeky hidden around the base. Probius on a patrol path, going to say, hey Probius, what's up? And gonna have some robotic sounds from probe to probe, and everything's going to be happy. Now, Ascension to Ire is a great map to hide a lot of proxies around. I, for one, would like to hide Proxy Factory and just float it into a Protoss base, because there's just so much vision that's not covered here. Well, Bali gonna get in here and take a look around, see what's going on in his opponent's base. A second gateway being added on. Second gateway in the Cybernetics core, slightly faster for Bali this time around. Definitely more going on over here, more blue warpiness. Blue portal-y going on. Is Protoss magic? Would you consider Protoss magic? Like, it looks like they have like magic circles. Look at that. I'm not sure if that was like a psionic type warp, or if you would consider their nonsense like magic, you know, like psionic abilities. Now both players look like they're going to go ahead and scout around and make sure there's nothing too cheeky. Oh wait, hold the phone. We do have a proxy pylon being thrown down over here on the left side of the map. Now this could be for the Stargate or the double robo. We'll have to wait and see. Now I imagine this is going to go unscouted because Bali is just, there's nothing here, there's nothing there. Good thing there was nothing here, because like you easily had a Stargate and a pylon up in that corner. Gonna send Probius on back home. Go ahead and scout once again. One robo. Where's the second? Going to completely blindside Ball if he doesn't see this. He does not see it at all. He's gonna go right on by it. That right there, sir, is what we call a facepalm moment. When you actually see your game in person. He tells me in chat here that Bali says he always takes Ire as a second map. And then, yeah, I can definitely see why. This is why Ire is one of those maps I generally keep vetoed, because the proxies are just so very real here. Shield battery being added on, definitely going to be able to, like, read into it and make sure you can defend a little bit. But, again, once the Immortals start coming out, if you don't have Immortals of your own by this point, it's going to be a lot harder to hold. You have one Robo and a Twilight Council on the way, so Bali should be able to get in here and just be alright. Does have a Robo, it's not finishing up just yet. Bali wants to add on a couple more shield batteries just to make sure, because he should know his opponent is up to something here. Like, go ahead and walk down this ramp, look around for any scouts with this Stalker. Look at the attack path, would actually miss it once again. By the time the Stalker gets over here, this Immortal's already out. Stalkers have already joined in. There's a gateway here as well. So he's going to have that faster warp. I was gonna say faster warp in, but the pylon powering that gateway a little bit further off. Stalker gonna sacrifice himself so he knows that he gets a scout off on this. Immortal is about to pop out. Now, your opponent can rally across the map very easily here with that pylon. Trying to knock down the pylon powered to shield bag, which he will do. It is Immortal versus Stalker here. And will Bali hold on? That's the question. He did lose his shield batteries. That is no longer powered. But he will not be able to heal his units back up on the defense. More Immortals and more Stalkers being added on. Look, man, if you're going to warp in at the warp gate. Why are you warping in on this slow pylon here? Anyway, we're going to march right up here. The fight is going to continue. 2 Immortals versus the 1. Now the Immortal count is not in Bali's favor. Bali's going to have to retreat up the ramp, sacrifice the natural if he wishes to hold on here. But it looks like a lot of his army is just going to get trapped on the low ground before it gets cleaned up. The pylon going to get cleaned up immediately. And just like that, the entire army of Bali has been cleaned up. The last lone Immortal here, trying to do some work and keep him in this game. Going to warp in on the high ground, but it's just a little bit too late, mate. The opponent who continues to slow warp. Okay. That's confusing me even more the more I look at it. Why you want to keep warping it on a slow pylon when you have a turbo pylon right there? GG going to get called out by Bali. That's going to tie the series up for 2 apiece. Got the cheeky players coming out now. Here we go. We're going to go to game number 3 of this PvP. The last group of the night here, Group H. We have 1 game left. Put a casting segment of this stream here for you guys. Where is my Google Drive? There it is. Go ahead and download that. We are done. Let's click in and load on in, boys. Alright, here we go. Game number 3. It looks like we have taken them to Black Pink LE. One of the newer maps in the map pool. Go ahead and minimize that and spawning into the bottom right hand corner. The purple Protoss pieces tied up 1 apiece after he got cheeky on with that proxy robo. It is Bali. That's why scouting goes to show, man. Like, always got to scout. You always got to be on your toes in mirror matches. And in the bottom left hand corner, the blue Protoss pieces of Annihilation, who was annihilating his opponent last game off that proxy robo, forcing a game 3. Now, let's see if Bali decides to return to favor and cannon rush or something like that. You know, it's pylon pretty close. He might just throw down a forge here. It's not at the front like a lot of Protosses will do. He is making his way around. Buddy, here we go. A proxy pylon as well. Where is the forge? There should be a forge follow-up behind this. Unless you're proxying all your gateways. You're going to proxy all your gateways. I love it even more. These are the games I like to see, guys. These are the games I like to see. Because these make for very entertaining games. Because it's just a complete turn on the head. Like, you come over here, you're like, yep, let's play a macro game. Okay, let's play a macro game. Annihilation, playing the macro game. He's walling off. He wants to go late game. Well, you have yet to scout. Why do you no scout? This is why you scout immediately. You send a probe out like after that first pilot and make sure there's nothing missing in your opponent's base. This scout still looks pretty standard for Bali. You know, he comes in here about a little normal time of 1:46, almost 2 minutes. But that's fine. You know, maybe the map's just a really long map. Okay, sure. So you're gonna get in here and poke around. Let's see his opponent is on 2 gas, and he's probably smiling at himself right now because making a Batman or like a fox head there. This path is his poor probe. Mineral, walk the probe! Mineral walking a probe. Poor Probius. But here we go. 4 zealots are added on. 4 gateways are powered up, and they are rallied right up to the top of this ramp. Gonna get his zealot ball going here and march right up this ramp. Get in here and start unpowering gateways. Now here's the thing. His opponent does have stalkers on the way. Now, did he scout? No, he doesn't scout. He's chrono boosting gateways like this is like a indirectly he's already kind of blind countering Bali here. And expand. He's gonna expand without scouting. Zealots are gonna come up. Stalkers are gonna have to be microed. You're not gonna get your expansion down on time. Gonna get in here. First Stalker is gonna wind up falling because it can't back up from the choke. Stalker's getting back on top of this one. Get knocked down, and just like that, first gateway is gonna get knocked down. Really easily unpowered one of these gateways. You need to move your zealots forward a little bit because they're kind of derping. Trying to figure out what to attack, so they are going to go right here, attack this gateway, knock that gateway down. Stalker out, it is stuck, it's kind of really tucked in here, it's kind of a really good place for it. Because only one zealot can hack away at them. But the zealots are just going to make their way into the mineral line, and this is probably the easiest game ever. Lol, GG, well played is called. And that was Annihilation's mistake, it's just not scouting. You always have to scout mirror matches, guys, that's why right there. But the cheeky plays from both players. What a series. Like I said, these are the games I like to see. Because these are the ones that kind of say a little bit about the player that isn't afraid to take a risk. B, like, it just says a little bit about the player's mindset as well. Like, you choose me, I choose back. Don't want to play a macro game? Fine. That was your mistake choosing me, type of deal. Also, well played there to Bali for the 2-1 win.